Good day and welcome back to Navstar Aviation and Marine, the YouTube channel where we FPV planes and boats, and glad to have you aboard again. Today we're looking at a radio controlled ship that I did a year ago, which is a roll-on, roll-off or RoRo ship. The project was done on a 3D printer and you can get it on Cults 3D. The young man that put this together is also a merchant mariner and really took the time to do it right. The level of detail on here is astonishing, and hats off to him for doing a yeoman's job in doing the 3D work and the CAD design to create a great project for aficionados of shipping and RC like myself. But this particular vessel is used all around the world, primarily in Europe for moving cargo and military equipment, but also on the west coast of the US by tote shipping lines in the Alaska trade. It's extremely versatile for moving containerized cargo on trailers, particularly military equipment. And it has a fairly high underway speed and can be deployed very quickly. These are pictures of the tote company's vessels that are operating in the Alaska trade, which is a trade route that I'm very, very familiar with from the first few years of my time in the Merchant Marine. But the model itself, extraordinary level of detail, and the time and attention that he put into this is second to none. I immediately identified it as a model that I wanted to build. It was really the first model that I built when I bought my 3D printer earlier in 2024. So we got into it. We'll take a look at the detail here and how she came out. But his design philosophy is modular because you have to be able to put all these parts in the 3D printer. That was a picture of the bow thruster. And here's a shot of her hull sections as I glued it together and proceeded to fair and paint the hull. Pardon my messy garage, but really wanted to make sure that I got a nice coat of paint on her and that the colors were reflecting the vision that both I and he had for this model. Wanted to do it justice. Each section, like I said, is modular, and it is pushing the limit on what can be done in the Bamboo 3D printer that I have. Volumetrically, it's right there on the edge, and that worked out great. To me, it was like a mini shipyard. And in shipyards, we build ships in sections, and that's exactly what happened here. We have a really nice opportunity to build these pieces from sites like Cults 3D or Maker's World, from some really talented people who put the time and effort into it. This is a picture of or video of the main house and the structure being built over time. It's one of the neat features of it. So, the hull itself was glued together, and it uses sectional braces to hold it together, and then the deck itself is glued on. All the directions are online in the Cults 3D page. I will provide a link to here shortly. Here's a nice shot of the bow. You can see where they would roll small trucks and palletized cargo on trucks and flatbeds onto it. Also military equipment. I started printing out some small vehicles to put on there, but it just became too much, so I kind of kept it bare. In this picture is a good shot of the lifeboat. It's a gravity launch lifeboat versus the old davit kind, and some palletized cargo and a helicopter landing pad, which were my little adds to it. But nonetheless, twin screw. Here's the anchor windlasses. I thought those were cool. Nonetheless, twin screw, twin rudder, and it has a working bow thruster. So you see you have a variable thrust, and it can twist this vessel both port and starboard. And then, of course, the rudders work in tandem to give you some pretty good maneuverability. I think the only criticism I had with it was the bow thruster was a little bit underpowered. Works great when there's no wind, but I think that's a modification that this thing might enjoy. Maybe open up the bow thruster tunnel a little bit, provide a little better turbine to push the water port or starboard, and then she'll be perfect. But still, hats off to him because he designed that from scratch, and it really came out super cool. While the bow thruster is scale in appearance, it is, you know, when you look at the physics of it, it's just not enough water. So I think that that's probably something for the next iteration. This I found was kind of cool to have a slow motion view because it may simulate better the hydrodynamics as the vessel moves through the water. So I was, of course, very early on in my RC endeavors. So, you know, the video quality is very poor. I think I did this on a GoPro. But I did take the time to put that GoPro on top of the vessel. And there is a little pond in a local park that we have here. And it, when the water's the right level, has a cool little river channel that I wanted to try and tackle. And boy, I really had a lot of fun navigating this vessel up the channel. It was all within sight. I mean, of course, this was a GoPro, so there's no FPV going on, although I might do that in the future. So a little tiny Mississippi River transit here, and I enjoyed going up to about as far as I could go on there, which is a series of rocks here towards the end, and do my maneuver. And that maneuver was a series of backing and filling, as we call it, when we're maneuvering a ship, where you go forward and use counter rudder and then go astern and then flip the rudder over to the other side, and you can spin the vessel around. But when you have a bow thruster like you have on this one, even though it's a little underpowered, one can turn the vessel a lot quicker, right? So there's a combination of a little bit of bow thruster, a little bit of rudder and counter rotation of the props, and we could twist her right around. So this was the end of the channel, and my first attempt at trying to, you know, back and fill and spin the vessel around. And I think I touched a couple of rocks there, but that was exciting. But it wasn't hard. It actually could spin and shape yourself up for the departure down the main channel through the river. And here we go. I think she needed one more push to shape up. And a little nudge from the bow thruster and a little bit of right rudder, and off we go. And I laid into it too. I think I went full ahead on this baby. Now the power system, a couple of motors. Honestly, I don't remember what the rating is on there. I certainly, with my knowledge downrange from this project, could increase the motor, increase the battery power, but you know, it comes a point where it just isn't scale anymore. So to a certain degree, this is perfect. But battery power, I think I could probably do some improvements on. So there's the river transit, if you will, for the Ark Germania, which is the name of the model. I've since renamed it after my company, Navstar Marine. So instead of the Ark Germania, it says Navstar on the side of it, which I kind of like. This was a tricky departure here, if you're interested in watching it. You kind of work your way around the rocks on the deepest side of the channel and over some obstructions, and we were able to get out into the quote-unquote open ocean of this small pond. And that's another thing I'd like to try, is the, you know, little more choppy water. But the decks are secured to the hull by magnets, and they're actually very, very strong, so they worked out well. I put a camera underwater to get some hull pictures. I thought that was super cool. especially this one. Love that. So anyhow, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate my subscribers and you know, all the comments and such. And granted, I've been heavily weighted towards RC airplanes, and I have a bunch of them lined up to review. I plan on getting back into the RC boat reviews as well, mostly 3D printed. I'm not much of a motorboat guy, speedboat guy I should say. I'm also working on an RC printed schooner, which is going to be my next project. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you hanging out and watching this.